Why aren't estate agents adopting material information? Today I'm joined by Natalie Barton, who is Digital Officer for Propertymark. Material information, we're filming this in 2024, doesn't seem to be a huge take up. Talk to me.
It's frustrating, Chris, because it's one of the biggest conversations that we find online, especially in our Propertymark members Facebook group. It crops up time and time and time again in other digital conversations as well. On LinkedIn, it's always constantly a source of conversation, a source of confusion. At our conferences, we have James Monroe from Trading Standards comes, and he's one of the most popular sessions at every conference because people have questions about material
Because
information.
we're in July 2024, we've obviously, B and C have now kicked in. So in layman's terms, exactly where are we as of July 2024?
It's a step in the process. We've come together. We've got parts A, B, and C now all in place. One of the most common questions that James Monroe gets at the conferences is, "Oh, so when does this actually all kick in?" And he's like, "Well, 2008."
Okay.
Parts A, B, and C, all in now. You should have it in hand. But things like CRM systems, Rightmove, we had the Propertymark One conference with Rightmove talking in the material information slot, and they admitted that actually it is a process of how does it work properly, because it's so vast and wide ranging. It's got to apply to every single property regardless. So not every aspect is going to apply to every property.
So my understanding is that A's been in for a while, B and C have now kicked in. But you know, if trading standards are saying these apply, but they're not slapping people for not doing it.
We can't say, oh, well, because trading standards haven't got the resources, we're not going to bother, because it's time and it's energy and it takes focus and it takes commitment, and
Until agents start getting
consumers.
fined.
Well, but should it? Should it instead agents take it and go, we're going to use it as a
You know
way?
what humans are like, though. I mean, unless it's going to help you get more listings.
But it could be a way to get more listings. Why would you go, oh, look, they just want to slap your property on Rightmove, but with no information? We're a credible agent. What we want is to market your property properly. If you market it properly, you've got a good price, you've got a best qualified price because we know the property, for example. So therefore you're going to get a market who is right for your property, and you are going to get a smoother process through. And we already know that the conveyancing process is an absolute nightmare at the minute. We've got 40% fall throughs by Rightmove data, but people are questioning, taking half an hour to fill in a form and feeling overwhelmed by questions. Somebody the other day said, we've got the Propertymark information questionnaire, for example. A lot of time and resource has been put into those questions so that they cover parts A, parts B, parts C for any possible situation. So it's a big old weighty document, and it's very easy to look at it and go, oh my God, I feel overwhelmed. There's a lot in here. I'd rather just get it on, and we'll kick that down the curb and we'll deal with it later.
That's what's happening, isn't it?
It is what's happening. But then look at what's happening. We've got a slower conveyancing process. We've got people's mortgages being called into question because things are being, they're readdressing them,
Okay,
the
so
pricing. So why not get it right in that very, very beginning? Be upfront, show your property as it is, and save all that stress and hassle further down the road.
as a voice
Have
of
a
the
happier
industry,
customer.
Propertymark, do you think you could be doing a better message to get that message across?
I mean, we try our best. We're trying, but it's constant conversations all over the place. From big, I do the Propertymark Instagram, for example. So my post that I'll be putting out later this week is about how, as a consumer, you can help smooth that process. And part of that is about being upfront with information and using the questionnaire. So we're out there trying to spread a consumer message. We're trying to talk to agents online at our conferences to convince them as to why it's important
And do you
and why
think
to not walk in that
and do you
minefield.
think agents have a responsibility to get that same messaging out if they are on board with material information.
Absolutely. And when you talk to most agents, they are like, oh, yeah, upfront information is a really good idea. It's a good thing. I don't want the headache of something coming down the road that then shakes an entire chain and threatens their income. If they don't make that sale, they don't get that money. So you want to protect your pipeline, protect it early on by adhering to those guidelines. If we don't adhere to the guidelines, Chris, then ultimately government will go, we're still failing people in their house purchases. We're going to make it legislation. These aren't just guidelines now. We're going to make it tougher and tougher and tougher. So you're not just protecting your current chain or your current market. You're protecting long term if you just fill in those forms, if you just get the information and nurture your consumer through that.
Can't trading standards fine agents at the moment if they don't do material information?
Yes, but there's only finite resources for trading standards, and actually trading standards, people are nervous of them, but at the same time, as James will say himself, they're also there as a support and advice service. So if anybody is confused, they can get in touch with trading standards, they can get in touch with Propertymark and say, I don't know how to approach this, rather than kicking it away and going, oh, I don't know how to deal with this. Actually find out. Mostly it's a pragmatic approach. When people ask questions, I've got this scenario, James and Mary will go, well, actually, if you can demonstrate your thought process in this, if you don't know the information, it's okay to say, I don't know. Something crops up further down and you find out, pop it in the material information, but find out as much as you possibly can from the beginning. A lot of it is publicly available information, or the home sellers will have it from when they bought the house. So, but it's a case of not just keeping those documents in a cupboard, encouraging your customer to get the paperwork ready. You don't go on holiday without a passport, without checking your passport and making sure it's in date. Why would you sell your house without checking that you've got everything in place before you put it on the market?
Natalie, thank you for your time today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.